Hey guys, it's Glenn from Glenn's Car Collection. It's November here in the Northeast, and it's close to the end of the driving season, unfortunately, for probably the NSX. This is my go-to summer car. I had a black NSX, if you've seen in some of my older videos, for about 4 years. I bought this NSX back in June. I think I bought it around Memorial Day weekend. Probably put 1,000 miles on it, probably a little more than that. So I thought today was a 60-degree day weather, so I figured I'd take it out for one last drive. Unfortunately, by the time I actually got out of the house, the sun's already setting. So now it's cold and about 50 degrees. But this will probably be one of the last times, unfortunately, with the top off. I'm not a convertible guy, I prefer coupes, but I love Targas, if that makes any sense. Maybe because I'm a little protected by the Targa, and I don't feel like I'm kind of like standing out there the way you are with the convertible. This car that you're looking at, my 05, which is the last year for the first generation, is actually, it's stock except for an exhaust. So with this catback exhaust, it actually sounds louder than usual, than a usual NSX. If you drive 100% stock NSX, and I do have the stock exhaust for resale, they are very quiet cars. I know nobody can hear me coming up and down the street, so I knew it was time to put an exhaust on it. This is the bigger 3.2 liter 6-cylinder V6, and this gives you 290 horsepower instead of 270, and the exhaust probably adds a little bit to it, but it's much meatier. An S6 would be very quiet, almost kind of like an S2000 kind of whale, where this gives it a meteor. And if you didn't know cars, you might think this was a bigger engine, like a V8 instead of a V6. I love these naturally aspirated engines. You know, you can rev this car up to 8,000, and it's a joy doing it. The VTEC in this car, and this was the first VTEC in the United States, is very linear, so it's not like that extra 100 horsepower on an S2000 when it kicks in. Where here you kind of have power through the in the rev range. I think it kicks in, you know, around 5,800 or so, but you still have some power low down, so it's not like the S2000 where it's really like an on and off switch. And I've owned an S2000 as well. If you ever get a chance to drive an NSX, please do. They're just amazing cars. If you drive any car like a Cayman S, a Lotus, Exige, Elise, any car that's mid-engine, it really spoils you. And always in my collection, I like to have at least one mid-engine car. I had all three of those cars at once. I was fortunate enough to have, which I bought all used, my old NSX, which was a 95, the first year of the Targa, a Cayman S, and a Lotus Exige all at the same time. I'll just shut this off so you can hear me better. So again, very modern classic, soon to be future classic. I think any NSX can be a collectible car if you can find a clean one. You know, a PPI is definitely a must on this car. As far as buying the NSXs, you want to get one that's had the timing belt changed regularly. So this is an 05, which is the last year, and the timing belt actually had been done already, and that's one reason why I bought it. It's an 05 in blue, which is one of the rarest combos, so I probably would buy it anyway, but it's nice to see that the previous owner put in a new timing belt already. They should be changed 7 to 10 years. It really depends on how the car is stored. If you live in a place where it's a constant temperature, you could probably go a good 10 years. If you're living someplace where, like here in New Jersey, where we actually have 4 seasons, that you should probably change the timing belt every 7 or 8 years. My black one, I put one timing belt on it in 2013, so it was actually on its 3rd timing belt for 1995. These are very visceral cars. I love how they look. You know, people say these are slow cars, and that's not true. A car like this, a 97 or this year 05, all had the 3.2 liter. And if you look at your old car magazines and the comparison tests, they were all tested about 4.6 seconds to 60, especially you know, the 02 to the 05s, and they didn't have any more power to the 97 from the 97. So really the 97 to 05s. If you see the like Motor Trend tested, I think it was an 04, but it's the same as this, 02 to 05 are exactly alike, and they got a 0 to 60 time of 4.6 seconds. But it doesn't have the big shove that a turbo car has. It doesn't have the big on and off switch VTEC like, say, an S2000 would. So it's a very linear power band. It does feel quick because you're so low to the ground. I mean, if I put this car up to the M2, the M2 is like a bus compared to this, because with the pedestrian safety laws now in Europe, they all have that blocky front end. So another reason to collect this car, it's mid-engine, right? Pretty much every NSX is a stick, so it's not like you're shopping with Corvettes where 75 to 80% are automatics. Almost every NSX is a stick. They only made a handful of automatics each year. And they can never make a car this low again. Very rarely do they sell any mid-engine cars unless you're looking at a Boxster Cayman. So it has all the signs of a future collectible. It's got a history, it's got a strong following. These cars are going up in value already, so now the time's to buy it, because I think when a car's 20 or 30 years old is when it hits its peak value. So especially the later cars, if you can get a 97 to 05. If you're looking for an NSX to drive, then I would start with one of the earlier models. Most of the earlier models, well, all the 91s to 94s are coupes. 95 became the Targa. When I started my search like 5 years ago, when I bought my first NSX, I wanted a Targa. I knew it was going to be like a fourth or a fifth car, so I wanted to have the Targa convertible experience. All right, guys. So I hope you're driving your car before winter sets in. I have very sticky Dunlop Durezas on this car, so this car probably won't be driven in winter. If we have some mild weather like we did last year, and it's, you know, 60 degrees out and no salt, then yeah, I'll probably take it out. If not, it'll probably be stored for the winter. So I'll keep you updated on this car. So far, I've done nothing on it. It had an oil change and a service just before I bought it. So I've had the car now, let's call it June, July, August, September, October, 5 months, and I haven't spent a dime except for a new set of tires, which I negotiated into the price. All right, so that's my only outlay into this car. The exhaust I already had from my 95, so I sold that car with the stock exhaust, took the stock exhaust off of this, and put the cat back on this, and it sounds great. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and share, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you again for your support.